I'm going to quickly outline the top 10 reasons that visas are denied when you go to any embassy in the world, because this is in essence 20% of my practice, just reviewing visa applications before a client goes to an embassy, as well as reviewing appeals in terms of writing an appeal letter when a visa is actually denied. The first reason is, of course, inaccurate or incomplete applications. So your application will automatically be deleted, and you won't be granted a visa if the information is inaccurate or incomplete. So just double check on all the information you provide, including the financial details, your personal details, the dates, the addresses, and get it right the first time. The second reason is, of course, insufficient funds. So you essentially have to prove that you can maintain yourself when you go on that visit, should the visa be granted. So, for instance, if you say that you are a clerk and you seem to be earning 10 times as much in terms of the amount of money you're showing that you have, then you kind of have to justify where that other source of income is coming from. And again, if you have insufficient funds that you can't look after yourself when you're out there, then it's another reason that a visa is often denied. Another reason is lack of credibility. So it's important to ensure that your documents and the reason that you're going aligns with your explanation, meaning that if you're saying your purpose of going is to visit a family member and go sightseeing, etc., then make sure that application essentially just shows that with what you write and with what you demonstrate in terms of a family member vouching that indeed you are staying with them and it is going to be just for like a travel visit, etc. Another reason visas are often denied is, for instance, if you have a criminal record. Now, this may be something you don't disclose, but if you don't disclose it and the embassy later finds out, they will revoke that visa. And they have various ways of finding out in terms of, they're connected to government departments, and all embassies or most embassies actually share information. So if a visa is denied in one country for one reason, they'll often share that information with other embassies. So if you lie that you don't have a criminal record and it's been discovered somewhere at some embassy, or you've been rejected or removed from a country because of a criminal background, then that embassy is likely to find out. And of course, they can't just do a Google search and find out what people are saying about you, etc. But if you do have a criminal record, unfortunately, it might be very difficult for you to travel to a lot of countries. Another reason that embassies will deny a visa is because of fraud or misrepresentation, which means that you come across as a fraudulent individual, or you misrepresent yourself or something about you in that application. So if you're providing misleading information and the officer deems you as doing so, that's another reason for a visa being denied. If you are going to an English-speaking country, lack of English proficiency in terms of how well you speak, or how less you speak the language, should I say, will mean that a visa can be denied in some instances, but not in most cases. So it's important to show some level of being able to speak English if it's an English-speaking country, although this is one of the least reasons that a visa will be denied. And technology is advancing so much that you can literally buy a translation device that is an earpiece. So anytime that someone speaks to you in a different country, you'll be able to hear what they say. And then if you give them another earpiece, they will be able to hear what you say. So lack of English proficiency for, English-speaking countries is one of the least reasons you will be denied, but it is helpful if you can get your English up to a certain standard before you make a visa application. It's also important to apply for the appropriate visa type. So based on the purpose of travel, you should just make sure that you get the category right in terms of the type and category of visa that you're applying for. If you have a previous visa violation, then it's important to provide information about that instead of hide it, because most likely, like I said, because embassies do share information, they're most likely to find that out. So you not only provide information as to what the violation was, but also how you complied with it in terms of how you overcame it, or how the 5-year ban no longer applies because it's now 5 years later, and just the different things you've done to overcome that violation. You may also be invited by an immigration officer to disclose or to speak more about any security risks they see associated with your application. For instance, if you've been a member of a terrorist group or been suspected of it, or there's information about you online, or there's information that they have with an intelligence agency or something about that security risk you pose, and then they happen to bring that up, you would have to provide information as to why you're not a security risk and why you should be allowed into that country. So if you overcome these 10 possible hurdles which I've outlined, you're most likely, and actually 80 to 100% likely, to get your visa approved if you can, just pass those hurdles in order to do so. It's also important to come across as sincere, reliable, very consistent in your application, as well as having a commitment to going and returning and coming across as someone who has integrity. So my name is Amanda Clinton, and I hope I've been able to help you in overcoming some of the hurdles that you could potentially be facing when you write a visa application, or when you give an attorney a visa application to write for you.